Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you notice that I am in the same shirt from the last few videos, it's because I did like a batch filming day. But today I wanted to bring another plant collection video. I did the alocasia one, which was so fun to film. So I kind of wanted to show you another type of plant that I was scared to take on at first, and that is anthuriums. So I don't have as many of those. I have 7 anthuriums right now to show you guys, and I am going to start with my most basic, easiest to care for, and that is this guy here. And as usual, I'll show you how I have him styled. He's in a thrifted basket. And what I'll do a lot of times is I will go to the thrift store if I see a basket or, yard sales, thrift store, whatever, when it's open, and I'll remove the handle. If it's got like a rounded kind of like a pot shape, I'll just take the handle off and use it like a cash pot. So this guy is the typical anthurium. I believe it's Anthurium andrianum. If I butchered that, I'll put it on the screen. But this is the typical kind of florist one you'll see pretty much every big box store, even at like Walmart, the grocery store. This is kind of the quintessential anthurium. It's got the really pretty heart-shaped leaves. My mom gave me this for Valentine's Day, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago. And this one is the one that gave me confidence. I kept this going now, like I said, 2 or 3 years ago. And I decided that it was time to maybe try some of the ones that I look at on Instagram and on other people's videos and fall in love with, but think, can I do that? So you know what? I figured, why not? Let's give it a try and see if I can do that. And I've done pretty well. So right now, this guy has 1 flower, and I have attempted to pollinate this. I don't know if it'll work, but I will find out probably within the next few months. And I figured this one blooms all the time. It was a good one to start on, and if I can do it, then I can kind of maybe cross-pollinate some of the neater ones. Overall, they don't want to dry out. They don't want to be completely dry. You don't want to keep them soggy. You want to let it dry maybe 2 inches down. And like I've done in my other videos and showed you like the little pots I use, if you get the clear orchid pots, they are really great for telling when your soil is wet or dry. Okay, so now let's see. The next anthurium that I decided to try and kind of branch into was the Anthurium Superbum. And I found this one at Terrain in Connecticut. This guy, I'm going to be honest, I was thrilled when I found him, and I found him in October. And it took from October to about February for him to do anything. This is the leaf he's put out. So, I mean, I was starting to wonder, what is going on. But the fact that I got a leaf now, and it does looks like I'll be getting another one. This one is slow growing for me. I don't know if it's slow growing for everybody, but that's when I kind of figured out that I was keeping it way too dry. So this one now, I keep a little bit damper than I did. I don't let it dry out 100%. Now I have found out that these bird's nest styles are a little bit more forgiving than some of the other thinner leaved ones. These are really thick, kind of leathery leaves, and they're a little bit more forgiving to soil drying out. The other bird's nest style one I have is this Anthurium Eye. And this is my most recent plant purchase. I picked this guy up. This guy's from Terrain too. Every time I go to Connecticut, that's where I find fancy plants. If you ever go to Connecticut, in like the New Haven type area, there is Terrain in Westport, Connecticut, which is another store called Bark and Vine, which is in New Haven. And that is hands down my favorite plant store. They get all kinds of neat ones, and they're super active on social media. And I'll show you, I think just one from them. But I look really washed out all of a sudden. Anyways, here is the Eye. And I don't know if this is the Fruffles one or not, but I just liked the thick, another leathery leaf type one, and it's ruffly. And then I'm going to keep my eye on this little leaf down here. It had some variegation. I don't know if the leaf's just dying off. I mean, that's also a possibility. But I just liked the look of this guy. And this is in that plastic pot that I like. And then what I'll do, just as just a little aside, so I have it in a pot. I keep them all in little cash pots unless they're in terracotta. and then I just put rocks or leca inside of here to kind of lift them off the bottom and give them a little aeration so they're not just sitting like in a soggy pot. All right, next I'll show you the one from Bark and Vine. And this was actually their grand opening weekend. I went and actually waited outside in a line. It was probably like an hour, maybe an hour and a half wait. It was freezing cold. So it was me and my husband, and it was kind of like Black Friday. So we waited and I got in. And this is one of the plants I brought home that weekend, the only Anthurium. And I have this guy in a pot. This pot came from Marshall's. But this is the Anthurium Fingers. And I believe the actual, like the scientific name is Pedata radiatum. And you can see why they call it fingers. So when I first got it, it came with leaves more like this. And then as it matured a little bit, which I've only had it since February, so it's not been a long time, but they start to put out more of the fingers. And then this was the next leaf to follow. And this one here is my most recent. And this one not only has the fingers, but it's got some little extra pieces here. So I don't. This one's just a really fun one to watch grow. This one grows way faster than the bird's nest styles that I showed you. This one is looks like it's putting out a new leaf now. I would say this one probably puts out, let's see, I believe this one was unraveling when I got it. So maybe a leaf every month or so, maybe a little bit quicker. But it's definitely one of those plants like you can enjoy watching it grow and watching things happen. Whereas the Superbum, pretty much buy this one like you want it to look because this one's way slower growing. All right, and now I'm going to show you the last three I've gotten off the internet. This one here came from Etsy, and this one here is also in, I think this was Marshall's because I bought it to match the other one, kind of like a smaller version. That way the pots all kind of tie in together. I try and keep everything white or white and terracotta or terracotta. So we have this guy here. This is the Anthurium Viterifolium. And this one has, these are also like really leathery, kind of like straps, almost like belts. So this is the leaf, the biggest leaf that it came with, the most exciting one. Some of the other ones are yellowing, which they're closer to the bottom of the plant. So I'm not really panicking, because this is the most recent leaf that it's put out for me, and it's a nice long one, and it's green, and then it also does look like we are getting some new growth in there. So I'm kind of excited to see this one grow. I love these when you see them and they're fully mature. They're on a shelf, and some of these leaves are like a foot or two. I will say with the Anthuriums, the leaves come in different than other plants. The leaves will come in and then they'll continue to grow. Where a lot of my other plants, when the leaf unfurls, the way it unfurls is about the size it stays. These guys, it'll come in small and then it will grow as it hardens off. So that's kind of one of the fun parts of these. They also get amazing root systems. Probably the chunkiest roots of any plant that I own. And you can see this one's already starting to come out. Okay, and then, you know, I just realized I haven't told you guys like any pricing on these guys. So this guy, I'm gonna say you could probably get for like $12 or less, probably if you could find it at like Lowe's or Home Depot. The Superbum, I think I spent like $20 for. The Ploumanii, which was the other bird's nest one, was $40. And it also is a matter of where you get these plants. Like I said, plants that come from a big box store will be more affordable generally than ones you get from like a fancy plant store. And that's just kind of how it is. The Fingers, I think was 30 or 20. This one I think is pretty available for an okay price if you want to try something that looks kind of like funky and fun. And then the Viterifolium, this one was expensive. I think I paid, I want to say like $80 maybe for. Yeah, that was expensive, but I don't know. It made me happy. It was worth it. And then the last two, let's see, this is another one that came from Etsy. This is my Clarinervium. The only way I could afford to do it was to start small, so this is the guy I've got. And this pot here is one that came from Marshall's. It was originally white and tan, but I painted the tan to look like terracotta so that it ties in with the rest of my stuff. And then let's get into this plant. So it came with this leaf and this leaf. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first unwrapped it, the pictures that were in the Etsy listing were way different than this. Like this was way smaller than the Etsy listing. These are the 2 leaves it's put out since. But it was like a 2-leaf seedling, and that was definitely not what the pictures showed. So I was a little bit down about that, but it's been growing pretty well, so it's made up for it. This was the next leaf that it put out, so starting to get a little bigger. This leaf here, the most recent one, clearly my favorite. So it is starting to show some of that veination. Not really a ton of sparkle yet, a little bit, but I don't know if you're gonna see it. And then we've got another one coming in, which is right in there. You can maybe see that. Hopefully it will end up being a little bit bigger as we go. So, like I said, this one kind of was disappointing when I first got it. I think I paid 80 for this guy too. I think he was 80. So like I said, definitely disappointing when the picture didn't match. But I don't know, with me with these plants, I'm not willing to pay the hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'd rather get in and kind of grow it from a baby. That works better for me. This last one is one of the ones I showed you in my import video. This is my Forgetty Eye. And this is a Walmart pot. And right now this guy still hasn't done anything. And I know that that's, I mean, I'm kind of expecting that because I imported it. It's going to have to take some time to acclimate, but as long as the leaves aren't dropping, I'm okay with that for now. So the Forgetty Eye, the thing that's special about it is this top part here. The sinus is closed, so instead of being heart-shaped, you got to kind of round it. It almost reminds me of an alien head. And this was an import from Ecuagenera, and I think it cost me about $50. I think it was $45 or $50. Which for this specific plant of this size was a great deal. And it was kind of fun to learn about the whole importing, like taking care of things once you get them type process. So that is my Forgetty Eye. And that is it for my Anthurium collection. Let me go over a little bit of Pest Care real quick. So I don't do anything really much different for these guys. Like I've said in my past videos, I'm the type that takes my plants to the sink to water because I like to let it run through completely. So while they are sitting and dripping, I'll just do a quick check on all the leaves. That's something that I do like regularly. Then once or twice a month, depending on how like into the plant chore day I am, I will mist the leaves and wipe them all off with a microfiber cloth front and back to kind of dust them. It makes them look a lot better first off. And then also anything you don't see it will get rid of. And this plant here is the one that actually started my whole systemic insecticide process, because as I was watching this flower to do the whole pollination thing, I saw what I think was a thrips on it. I saw one of them and I killed it. And then a couple days later, I saw what I think was another one. And I haven't seen any more, and it's been probably 4 months. So I haven't seen any more, which means that either it was something else or else I caught it quick enough that it didn't get crazy. So this is the one that kind of started the whole using the systemic insecticide and kind of being a little more cautious. But yeah, that is my Anthurium collection. So let me real quick, if you are new to Anthuriums altogether, go for that grocery store one. That one grows like a champ. It'll get you some confidence. And then if you don't mind the trying to keep something moist, similar to alocasias or calatheas or things, like don't let it dry out 100%. Something like this is, I think, a low enough price you could probably find it. I think a lot more stores are starting to carry it. It's affordable. So if it goes terribly wrong, you're not going to be heartbroken. it also grows quick enough that you're going to get kind of like the excitement and feel like you're doing something. So that's one that I would recommend if you are moving past the basic one and kind of want to do something more fun. Some of the more expensive exotic ones like the Clarinervium, I find this one to be really easy. And same thing with the Viterifolium, although it hasn't done much. It's a really pretty kind of like easy looking plant. If you want a plant that's kind of more a decor piece, like say you have an area that needs a specific size, something like this is kind of unchanging. So like I bought this in October, other than this one leaf, it's pretty much the same. So had I bought this to fill a spot, it wouldn't be outgrowing the spot now, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, sorry, I almost forgot where I was. Without fail, I always get like a phone call when I'm trying to end a video. So I hope you enjoyed my Anthurium collection. And if you have any questions, let me know and I will try and get back to you if I know the answers. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good day and I'll see you in my next video.